So just going to do a commentary of my role here. I'm going to show some videos and clips afterwards of more specific stuff of how I'm doing certain things. From here, I got a 2-on-1 on his hand, and that forces a reaction for an arm drag. That takedown there, I go with my elbow to over top of the neck. If you've seen, I made a video about that already at like the end of the lever takedowns. It's one of my favorite finishes, and if the head's available, I'm clubbing it usually when I can. He had that butterfly hook, which was able to extend, but when I brought it to the other side, I was trying to smash past him to mount, but he had a good job framing back in. From here, I'm in a weird situation where I got the near side underhook, but I don't have the underhook on the far side, so I know that he's able to take my back. So just in case, if he's about to climb to my back, I have a bailout option going across Ashi. And you can see I'm pummeling my left leg on top of the leg once in a while as a threat, or if I'm ready to backstep it. And every time I do, I pummel it like foot first rather than a big wide step. If I took a big wide step, if he knew the counter, he would likely would have countered me if I took a big step, because he would have hooked my leg and then brought me all the way across like a grapevine counter from that back step. He tries an escape here with his near side underhook, his right hand, but I'm able to stop it because I put this crossface on his neck. That keeps his back more flat, so it's harder for him to be more mobile and go up to the back. It's a good prevention. I'm also shifting my hips a bit. It gives him ability more to face up, but then I'm driving my shoulder back in. So I'm switching back and forth from different grips to get the finish. Here I'm already under the neck. I didn't have to hand fight it through. That's my preference if I can, is getting under the neck through transition rather than systematic like means of hand fighting. Someone who's good to study like that is Marcelo Garcia. He gets rear naked, guillotine all through the transition. We're back here wrestling again. Here's something I do interesting is when I go for that leg, he steps back, but then I know that's going to be a reaction, so I'm using that leg grab as if it's a jab. A good concept here, whenever you're in body lock, underhook, the further they bring their hips away from you, the easier it would be to lock a pinch headlock. This takedown, I use a pinch headlock to step in the middle, and then I step to block the ankle so I could fully kill like the posture. I'm turking the leg a bit, staying heavy. I just don't want him to elevate me to his left with that butterfly hook. I'm trying to pummel on top and pass here, but I still want control of the head. Here I have my pummel, now I'm in side control once again. I try to go for a leg Kimura, like a Tariq Plata. Well, it wasn't here. Here I'm being conservative. I'm going to the back instead. But when I realized that had failed when I get the Kimura the second time, I want to do a leg Kimura. There's some things that I messed up here on why the transition didn't work. I could go over that another time. I gave too much space for him to be able to turn, essentially. I thought about transitioning to the legs there. When one system fails upper body, you do have the lower body. I just wanted to stay stubborn with the Kimura grip. Now I'm playing from guard. Simple tomahawk sweep from there. I go to the 2-on-1 grip on the leg right away because anytime after a sweeps, it can be a scramble. So with that 2-on-1, I shut down a possible scramble because I'm able to elevate that leg. Little outside pummel pass here. I'm back to side control. I reset again. Overall, this I'm using a lot less energy. I'm in chest-to-chest positions, and I'm laying my body weight over him and fatiguing him more over time. He builds up for a single. I grab that ankle. I'm trying to go for like a crucifix here. Because I have that crucifix counter, I felt like I had enough space to go for the guillotine. I didn't have it, and he was able to reverse me on the position. So now I'm just keeping this hand stiff arm in the hip, creating problems. So it creates a little more overreaction, so I can start escaping. And I end up in front headlock. At least now I'm not pinned chest to chest from side control. I'm going to leave the link to the YouTube video of how I learned this hand fight. It's from JB, the B team instructor. You can see I got 2-1, but then I switched thumb down. The reason why I'm going thumb down is because now my hand would be in position to drag that arm. You could see from this 2-1, the weakness of the grip is where he could push off. As he pushes off, he gives me that leg drag reaction. And I use that not to get to the back, but around the leg. I've learned it going to the back, but if I go around the leg like a false grip around the knee, I have more connection to my opponent. Now here is our second round starting. I'll do a bit longer of a breakdown today. We're hand fighting once again. So from the underhook, if they're pulling away like that, how he was, it's giving head position more, and I was able to frame down and eventually snap him down. From the transition on that guillotine, I kept one hand in and I grabbed the far lat with my other hand. That would support the choke, and that is a cool thing to do because you can stop the rotation a little more. In my headquarters, I try to do a knee hike pass where I basically pass the knee through and go to 3/4 mount. It's pretty low percentage, but it's a good threat because even if you fail it, you can see I'm still maintaining the position. Passing it one way, the other way. I'm just settling in this headquarters here. Not too worried about flanking, but rather passing on the inside hip. The two main goals from outside passing is usually flanking or getting an inside hip position, whether that be hamstring, straight hamstring or cross hamstring. Straight hamstring, which I did there, was a headquarters, or it would be a split squat, right? So I'm just choosing to pass through the guard rather than around. Passing around and through will be based on decisions on what your opponent's doing too. He was extending his legs a lot with me. So while he's extending legs, it's stopping me from flanking, but it's easier to get in the other positions. Here he gives an interesting reaction with this. He locks his hands together as a 10-finger grip, and it does stop my triangle, but it gives me the Kimura. And that Kimura from that position is very powerful. You need very minimal movement. I could show a clip of that finish afterwards. We're back wrestling again. That was a good trip on his point as I'm adjusting from the arm drag. I'm aware of my post here. As you see, he tries to bring it down right there, but I just limp arm it out. I've been playing with this heist position. I've been wanting to go up here a little more where I have that butterfly hook, but he's able to step over my knee and take my back. I could shake him off like this because he doesn't have a seatbelt. If he had a seatbelt, I'm not doing that reaction. I'm doing something totally different. But because he was double unders, I was able to shake him off from there. See, from seatbelt from there, he chooses to go double unders, but he would have been more attached to my body with the seatbelt. I Granby for the legs, and here when I invert to like kind of like a Connie you'd see pretty soon, I don't control both legs, making it easier for him to sprawl out his hips when I could have been able to overhook both legs definitely from here and get top position across Ashi. I just haven't studied the Connie Basami in a while, and it's getting refreshed now in my brain after watching a bunch more clips. I know how to play that position a bit more better. I'm shrugging my shoulders from this arm triangle, and it's alleviating a lot of pressure. It's not as tight, and then my hand is also snuck in through. Yeah, so I'm trying to avoid that top hook now if I can. So I've got knee elbow connection. So he has to settle for a high ball ride. And because he's there, it's going to be easier for me to escape. I believe I'm trying to build height from here. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm able to shake him off or go for other forms of escapes. I choose to go back into the legs. I frame in there on the head, and I'm ready to just grab you and roll around. Gary Tonin and his Protecting the Back DVD goes over that thumb post. That's straight. So this is where I was essentially with the triangle from the mount, except that they weren't locking through the leg, but it addresses the same problem as they're connecting their hands. And you can see, like, it takes no braking pressure. The way you are leveled with your hips, even with the hands connected, you can still get the finish. So it's a great way to deal with either they're connecting their hands, not letting you get the underhook, or they connect hands to stop the triangle. And the last thing about this sequence is a great dilemma I've been playing here. The harder it is to elevate your opponent's limb to get an underhook, the tighter they are with that frame, the easier it would be to just step over. And stepping over the hand like that is usually opportunistic, but if they're staying really tight, you just have to push it down and stay tight with your hips. And you could usually get a nice high mount. Even if the hand eventually comes back inside, you could possibly an S mount. But I've been getting triangles like this method now for a while and haven't did that before.